Hi everyone, doing my second video in a row. That's why I have the same shirt on. So this is Most Disappointing Albums More Than 100 Times Rock's Biggest Bands Let Us Down. I can see Yes Tornado on there, Queen Hot Space, Jefferson Airplane's Bark, and a few others. So, as usual, I'll just let my viewers know which ones, I'm going to, which ones I have or had, and if I was disappointed in them. There we go. And I would love your thoughts also. And please remember to like the video and become a member of this channel. Here we go. Nope, never owned Fly on the Wall. Never owned 18 Till I Die. Never owned Nights in the Ruts. That's hard to say. Night in the Ruts. No. Yeah, and let me know which ones you agree with that were disappointing or maybe not disappointing. Never owned Rough Diamonds. See, right there, I know, even some fans of the band, it's not one of their favorite albums by them, but it's my favorite album by the band. I love Cahoots. I didn't love it, when I bought it back in the early 70s. I just thought it was okay. But, and the new remix, I think has really helped it too. It's a great album. Nope, never bought Flash. Yeah, this comes up a lot. I don't think it's... I think it's underrated. I think it's not as strong as their earlier albums like Sabotage, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, but Technical Ecstasy is still a great album, in my opinion. And same with Blue Oyster Cult's Mirrors. Yeah. When it came out, I was disappointed in it. But in recent years, I've grown to really love the album. And I think it's underrated. No. Never bought any Bon Jovi. Never bought Third Stage. The only album of theirs I bought was their debut. Yeah, Tonight's okay. It's not one of David Bowie's strongest albums, but it's not a bad album, in my opinion. It's got some great songs on it. Door to Door by the Cars. That's a pretty good album. What do you think? Never bought Next Position, Please, or Hot Streets by Chicago. Nope, never bought that. Yeah, I've heard that. I've never owned it. I own all of the other Clash albums on CD. But I definitely never want to buy that. That was a disappointing album for sure. Yeah, not the same album cover as the one I had on vinyl. This was his third studio album, and I think it's a great album. Woman to Woman, High Time We Went, and a few other great songs. Yeah, I'd like to get it on CD. Never bought any Phil Collins. Was that disappointing, you Phil Collins fans? I've never heard Must Love Love. Is it disappointing? I have all the other early Alice Cooper albums, the band albums. Yeah, Mardi Gras is a good CCR album, but it's not a great one. It's certainly not Cosmo's Factory. So I can see it being labeled as disappointing for sure. Yeah, I remember buying this. I loved the song American Dream, but then listening to the whole album, it wasn't very good. Yeah, I think when this came out, it was disappointing, but I heard it recently and it's like, you know what? It's a pretty pretty damn good album. It's not as good as Machine Head, no, but it's still a very good album. Never bought that. Nope. 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 I love The Doors. And The Soft Parade is a great album, just like all of their albums with Jim Morrison. That album's okay. I can see it being disappointing, though, at the time of its release. Never bought The Long Run. I might have heard Time at some point, but is it disappointing? Let me know. Yeah, that's a disappointing album for sure, especially the cover. Never bought that. Behind the Mask. Never bought that. Never bought that. Never bought Peter Gabriel's Up. That's a pretty good album. I wouldn't say it was disappointing. Never bought Go to Heaven by the Grateful Dead. Nope. I've heard that. I can see it being disappointing. Nope. Never bought that. Nope. Yeah, that certainly wasn't Volunteers. So I can see that being labeled disappointing. I've never really heard all of this album. I'm pretty sure I did buy that because I was buying Billy Joel albums in the 70s, early 80s, and that was disappointing. Never bought that. Nope. 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 Yeah, I have the new remaster. I can't totally get into it. So I would say it's a disappointing album. Never bought Dynasty. Yeah, it was disappointing when it came out, and it's not as strong as their earlier albums. Physical Graffiti is my favorite, but it's still a damn good album. I'm Gonna Crawl is probably one of Led Zeppelin's most underrated songs, too. Mind Games, yeah, that was kind of disappointing when it was released. Looking forward to hopefully the new remix this year. Never bought that. I love Red Rose Speedway. I used to think it wasn't a very good album, but when the archive edition of this came out, I just bought the 3 CD at first, and then it was like, oh my God, this is way better than I thought it was. And I ended up buying the box set. Never bought Dead Ringer. Yeah, I was disappointed. I used to buy John Mellencamp albums back in the late 80s, early 90s, and that was, I think, the last one I bought. It was disappointing. It was like he was going through the motions. Never bought Saint Anger. No. I liked Dog Eat Dog. I bought that on vinyl when it came out. But what do I know? I love the early Moody Blues albums, but I've never heard this album. I've heard it was disappointing. That's why it's on this list, I guess. Never heard A Period of Transition. Nope. Never heard March or Die. The other Side with a Mirror, Stevie Nicks. Yeah, I probably bought that back in the day. That was a mistake. Never heard The Ultimate Sin. No Code. Yeah, the first time I heard it, I wasn't that impressed with it. It's an album that you need to listen to a few times to really take it all in. I think it's a great album. Never bought that. No, never bought that. Nope. Yeah, Hot Space, that was disappointing. Never bought End of the Century. I do own that on CD, unfortunately. I could see that being disappointing on release. Never bought that. I think that's an underrated album by the Rolling Stones, Goat's Head Soup. What do you think? Never bought Hold Your Fire or Welcome by Santana? Nope. 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 Yeah, I bought that. It was 2 albums in one, wasn't it? Like, he released 2 albums at the same time. And yeah, that was disappointing. I've heard that. Yeah, it was disappointing. Never heard that one. Smiler. I love early Rod Stewart, but I think by that time I'd given up on him. Never bought that. Wasn't really into Styx. Thin Lizzy, never heard that album. Nope. Yeah, I was a huge U2 fan for many years. And that was a big disappointment to me. Yeah. Yeah, I listened to that on my Does This Album Suck series on my Canadian Studmuffin channel. And I believe, I'm not sure, but I think I said it sucked. Never bought that. I've never heard Squeeze because it's really not a Velvet Underground album. It's a Doug Yule solo album. Never bought that. I've never heard All of Face Dances. No interest. After Keith Moon passed away, I kind of lost interest in The Who. I love Yes's Tornado. I saw them on that tour. I think it was the very first Yes album that, I owned myself. And I loved it, and I still do today. And I love Neil Young's Trance. I know some people don't. Some people even hate it. But I love it. Yeah, that was disappointing. Good name for the album, Recycler. They're just recycling what they'd already done in the past. Yeah, so that's it. I would love your thoughts on any of these albums. Which ones you agree with and which ones you disagree with. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.